Hey everyone, today's lesson is going to be short and sweet. We're going to be working on combining like terms. Some of you may have heard this before, but I guarantee you still make these mistakes. Almost everybody does. So let's try and iron this out and make sure we're getting it right. Alright, have anybody ever heard of Knorpelna? No? That's probably because the word doesn't exist. This is what happens when you add together unlike things. Because what this is it's a cranberry, an orange, and an apple and a banana all put together. All right, we can't just mesh things that aren't the same. And what I'm referring to in algebra is we can't add and subtract things that don't represent the same value. For example, we cannot add x to y. Okay, and what I mean we can't, it means we can't simplify it. So yeah, we can say x plus y, but x must have a separate value than y. X plus y does not equal xy. All right. Another thing we cannot do, 2x squared plus x does not equal 3x squared. It also does not equal 2x cubed. It simply equals 2x squared plus x. X squared and x are like cousins, all right? They're related, but they're not in the same, they don't have the same DNA, right? But what we can do is we can add an x to an x. So x plus 3x gives us 4x. So we have to remember we can only combine things that are exactly alike. Here's a quick example. So what is the simplified form of each expression? So here we have an x squared for each term. That means we can add them together. And here the reason is, as they show you, we don't really have to do this step, is because of the distributive property. All right, they're saying that we got this from distributing x squared to each of those terms. Really all we need to know is that since they're alike, okay, we can add them, and 8 plus 2 is 10, so we have 10 of that like thing. So if x squared represents apples, we have 10 apples. If we look at the next one, we have a bunch of different things going on here. We may have apples, which are the x's. We may have bananas, which are the whole numbers or the coefficients or constants. And then we have oranges, which are the y's. So what I would recommend doing is writing them in the order that puts them together. All right, and if you remember from before, first we want to add the opposite of everything. So we want to add the opposite. We want to change minus 3 into plus negative 3. We want to change minus 3x into plus negative 3x. The reason we do that is because it makes it easier to switch everything around without getting confused. So now that we've done that, we can go right into this step. And this step here actually just shows you what I did there in a step. The first step. So the second step says 5x plus minus 3x, because I'm moving things around. So I use the x's, plus 6y, plus negative 3, plus 4. Now I simplify. Well, these two things can be simplified and combined because they're alike, and these two things can be simplified or combined because they're alike. So what I end up with is 2x plus 6y plus 1. All right, now here are some examples we're going to try on our own, or I'm just going to walk through with you. All right, so we want to check to see, can we combine that? Well, we have a y squared and a y squared, so I say yes. They're two very similar things. So negative 4y squared plus 9y squared should give us 5y squared. For number 60, I'm going to combine the c. I'm going to rewrite it so that the c's are together and so that the constants are together. And remember, we want to change. All right, so we have 6c plus negative 4. So we're going to write it in order though, so I want the other c, and then I can add the constants. All right, everything's easier when we're adding. So we combine these two things, we combine these two things. We should have 8c plus negative 11. Number 61, we have a couple different things going on here. We have two constants, we got an x, we got a y. I want to change this sign or expression, change that sign. And then down here, I'm going to rewrite it. And just by habit, I always put x first because it's the earliest letter first. Since x comes before y, I put x first. And then the coefficients should always come at the end. So that should be the only thing you can combine. There's only one x. There's only one y. Then we can combine 5 and 6 to 11. That's our simplified answer there. All right, and then remember, so let's just skip on to 63. I'm going to put that one up here. We have minus 7h and 4h. Remember, h is different from h squared. H squared is its own thing, so we're going to make that a different color. And then we're going to have 3. We want to change the expression, change the sign of the following number. So we're adding everything. So I have 3h squared plus negative 7h plus negative 4h plus negative 3. I'm going to combine the single h's. Remember, h squared cannot be combined. And that's going to equal 3h squared plus negative 11h plus negative 3. All right, hopefully we get the gist of this. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email or ask me during class. We should now be working on the questions with this lesson and then completing your Check Your Understanding.